Rocky Mountain Sasquatch Organization Dirt Road Roundtable Drive. I've filmed this a couple of times coming back to the location that we found the Bigfoot tracks the same day that we were investigating the Bigfoot footage that was filmed just a few miles away. And I was just here a couple of days ago, and this boulder was not in the road. Look at the size of this thing. Think old Squatch is sending a message he doesn't want me back here anymore? Got Derek with me this time.
Yeah, and Derek says that's a baby boulder compared to what's in his backyard.
I know, but
it is a big boulder.
Can you pick that up?
And where'd it come from? There's no place. Where'd it come from?
It doesn't look like it rolled through the brush over there. Here, I'm going to flip the camera over there. Look, that did not roll down onto the road. Look at that, you guys. Do you guys see any damage where that boulder rolled down?
Potentially right there to the left of where that other rock is, maybe? See what I'm talking about?
Yeah, there's a wet spot right there that looks a little bit moist right there. Do you see where it rolled, though?
No, absolutely not.
Yeah, it's like it was picked up in place.
It would have crushed all the stuff below it to do that. So, and that's, yeah, I don't know, but there was definitely something that was sitting there. So that's where I would take it that it rolled off of that, dude. But I don't.
Yep. Well, it probably rolled down there. The Bigfoot that in the area probably
doesn't mean it wasn't pushed there.
Yeah. Remember? Oh, it was Brody. Brody and I saw where a boulder was moved uphill. Big one. Like a 400-pound one when we were at Mount Hood. You could see where it was sitting and it was moved uphill. I mean, that's not how gravity works, right? So, and it was in a spot where we found Bigfoot tracks. Now that was at the beginning of the season. That was one of the weirdest boulder movements I had saw. And that thing was big and heavy enough that Brody and I probably would have needed like crowbars and stuff to move it between us. There's no way him and I could have picked that thing up and moved it. And I know this because our buddy Mike, he used to make headstones. And I'd go visit him at work and I'd help him move 200-300-pound headstones around his workstation. Yeah, he put me to work while I was there, by the way. But yeah, so I kind of have an idea of different size rocks, what they weigh from helping him out. And that boulder that we were just looking at is probably 200 plus. And that one that Brody and I was looking at was about 400 plus, and it was moved uphill from the location that it used to sit. Not saying Bigfoot did it, but these boulders have been moved in Bigfoot sighting location. And this one has video evidence. And after doing the size comparison, you guys need to go watch that. I'll put it in the description of this video, where we have a guy that's 220 pounds, 6 feet tall, go out and stand where that Bigfoot was walking. And that Bigfoot is at least a foot taller than him, and it looks 2 to 3 times his mass.
Not a bad little area. Got a lot of swift moving water, open area.
This road is horrible. Jenny and I'll camp back in here, and there's been a couple of occasions where we've gone up to 4 days without seeing another person, and I give this crappy road credit for that. I mean, people do come back here, but we've had some stretches where we haven't seen anyone back here. It's definitely a road you don't want to bring a trailer up unless you have a lot of clearance and some meaty tires on that trailer. some of the best Bigfoot vocalizations I ever heard were back here until Derek, Jenny, and I had our Mt St Helens Bigfoot expedition, and that pretty much one-upped. That took it to another level. Those are the best I've heard so far, but those went on for over an hour.
Up on top of Monty, definitely heard some good vocalizations up there. That's a big rock.
Yeah, let's see
if I can go right to that one.
Let's see if I can get it up here without scraping the bottom today. Oh my gosh.
You sure you want to do that? I would say hug the left as tight as you can. Up, ride the hill left of it. See what I mean? And kind of take it as an angle. That's up to you. It's your car, man. That's a...
Well, I've done this so many times.
You do what you want.
Recently, I think I have a... How do I do this the last time?
I don't know. You could probably belly it.
I think I know how I do it. I go around it, and then up this way. I just don't want a high center on anything.
Just keep in mind that it's already started to rain, so it's a matter of getting back out of here.
This is the worst part going up. We'll get to go downhill on the way out. This sucks. We were trying to beat this storm.
Yeah, we're not. We obviously didn't beat it. That's all right.
Hey, I didn't scrape anything.
Yeah, we're all right.
Let's see.
That doesn't bother me like freaking Mt St Helens did. This is nothing. You can roll us off the side of this thing.
I'm not going to roll us anywhere.
I'm just saying, it's not a big deal to roll.
Oh, where the boulder had destroyed part of the road?
We're not rolling 150, 250.
Yeah, that was
200 feet down a mountain.
Yeah, that was scary. That was that was about 6 right dead between Mount Hood and Mt St Helens.
Yeah, that's about where that was.
Yeah, that was crazy. That was scary.
Is that like horse stable something or other trail or something? Wagon horse trail. Wagon horse something or other.
There was some horse.
Something to do with horses. And we basically laughed about saying, yeah, you're only supposed to bring horses back here, not cars anymore.
That was a year and a half ago, and we go on so many expeditions that they start to blur together. But yeah, that was a very memorable expedition. A lot of cool stuff happened on that one.
Are we doing a loop, or are we going to end up flipping a Huey?
I don't want to do the loop with the storm rolling in. I just wanted to go and look for more evidence around where we found the tracks the last time. Look, there's ice.
Oh yeah, I've been seeing ice. Some of the little beaver ponds were halfway frozen up. Hey, I recognize this spot too.
I got a rain jacket if you want to wear it.
I think a rain jacket would be better than what I have, but you got more than one?
Yeah.
Actually, I need to put the rain jacket over my jacket. I don't know if I'd want to take the 360 out in the water anyway.
I don't know if I want my cameras out when it's raining this hard, to tell you the truth.
Got an umbrella.
Here's my emergency rain jacket. Always have it in my backpack.
I have mine in my backpack too.
Oh, this is bullshit.
I just don't want us to get back here. You know what I mean? This shit can turn slick and...
Oh yeah, I've been back here in the rain, and Jenny and I about slid off the road.
Yeah, Jen's not here to dig us out.
Hey, I dig too.
I just know who Jen is.
Yeah, when we were up Bloomington Canyon and got stuck, we dug for a couple of hours. And I was like, let's just sleep in the...
Or are you going straight?
I just want to drive them just a little ways and I'll flip around. But anyways, we dug for a couple hours taking turns, and I was just finally exhausted, wet, and I'm like, let's just sleep in the vehicle the rest of the night and finish digging out in the morning and go back to camp. And Jenny's like, nope, I'm not sleeping in the car, and she sat out there and dug. And then I felt the car shift, and I'm like, I think we're touching ground now, and we pulled out.
Actually, this wouldn't be... the problem with this is, it's just too far. Not much going to trigger a camera, but I think you'd see all sorts of stuff over this, looking this.
I'd want to do it up in the woods, the
Up
direction I
above
was
it.
going. Uh-huh.
I would think in something like that.
In that grove of trees?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's getting across the creek is the challenge.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially on a... That's something we ought to think about here next spring. You know what I mean?
We could bring a ladder and climb across the ladder on something like
Before
this.
spring. Yeah, but there's lots of places.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
if you laid down a ladder and a board on the ladder, you would have your own makeshift bridge.
2x12.
Oh yeah, even better.
Just bring it with us. Throw it in the back of a truck.
I saw one at the mouth of the canyon that someone threw across.
Yeah, I saw. Somebody built a damn ladder that they walked across. I saw that too.
They used a couple of logs and kind of made a wooden ladder over the top of it.
Well, fuck.
It's starting to slow down. We just may have had a temporary cell, Derek.
Sure.
Derek and I are here to hike around and look for more evidence. We're trying to beat the storm that's not supposed to come in till tonight. And it starts hailing and snowing on us and raining as soon as we get here.
Yeah. Freaking.
Yeah, we want to figure out where that Bigfoot went to. Should we walk along the edges of the creek through here and see if it followed the creek?
What was the direction of that print?
It looked like it was crossing,
heading up the hillside.
Crossing the road up into the mountain.
Not following the creek.
Yeah, let's go to where it was going. Jenny's already walked a lot of this over here. And she's a good tracker. She don't miss much. Looks like we're the only ones back here today.
That's for sure.
You got plenty of room?
Oh yeah, there's plenty of room.
Okay.
Haven't seen a damn soul.
Make sure everything's rolled up. He scared something. That was crazy. And we know there's a Squatch in it. When I hold that, this truck went by this tree line, this white truck, and something huge and brown ran away from it deeper into the woods. Derek and I were scoping out some footprints over here, so we want to head over to where we saw it run. It was moving quick through the thick of the trees in this tree line.
This thing on? Is this the...
No. This is the only camera running right now. You're more than welcome to flip that on if you feel it's necessary. I'm going to keep this camera pointed in the direction that that thing ran. Well, up in here somewhere.
Yeah, it was definitely left of us here.
We have to be able to jump these creeks to get over to it on foot.
Yeah, that's...
I just want a spot to see if I can see it over there. I'm not wading across the creek on a cold day like today, and I don't have
not when it's supposed to snow and we're sitting up on top of freaking Beaver Mountain.
Yeah.
That's not good.
Yeah, I guess you would consider this part. Yeah, this is Beaver Mountain.
I mean, dude, we're what, 8,500 feet, probably? I'm not positive exactly, but that's in the ballpark, if not a little bit higher.
That truck driving past here scared something in the woods that ran in those trees over there, y'all.
He was pulled just around a little bit further. He was ahead of us about another 100 yards.
I'm looking where I saw it running.
Let's back in this and just sit here and keep an eye on it.
All right.
See?
We can glass into there with our cameras and stuff too.
Yeah, just back into this, and this'll give us a...
This is where the guy abandoned his camp. We're backing into where the guy abandoned his camp.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah. This is where the guy had 2 Squatches come down to his camp and scare him and his dogs out.
Okay, that's
you
probably...
see it?
No, there's wind. I just saw movement. I saw movement.
Oh my gosh. This is nuts.
It was closer, though. Like down in the willows.
Before we leave, I'll flip the vehicle around and I'll drive up, and then I'll put the link to the video I did to the guy's sighting report. He was camped right here and got ran out. He abandoned his camp at night because a couple of Squatches come down around his camp. And Derek and I just filmed what we believe are 2 different individual Bigfoots.
One's a big one. One's one of the biggest freaking footprints I've ever seen.
Well, because that's the only one that size we found. I think it could be a double step. I think
sure, that's right.
I think we
talked about that.
I think we proved that one's about 17 and another one's about 15.
Yeah.
And they could have double stepped there.
You're right. That comes back.
And it wasn't a bear.
Yeah.
I'm putting it out there. They sunk deep enough, all these tracks. If any of them was a bear, we would have saw the claw marks. And
would have been something. Yeah, it would have looked different.
We know the shape.
Tracks, man.
We know the shape of bear. And if you guys have followed us, I've pointed out a lot of bear. Derek has. Matter of fact, the video we haven't posted yet, Derek was pointing out a black bear that we found its tracks several times. And then hiking on the way out, we ran into a guy that's a local that was up there hunting grouse. And we didn't even say anything about the bear tracks. We were just BSing with him. And he was like, yeah, some people saw a black bear up here last week. And then that's when Derek and I was like, yeah,
yep,
we just found a bunch of black bear tracks back there.
No question, it's here.
Okay,
One.
that grove of trees right here that's kind of a peninsula out from the forest, I saw it running through the opposite direction of this road. And there was a guy in a white truck that drove back here and then he stopped. I believe there's a bow hunt going on, and he may be looking for his elk or his deer. Probably not too happy me and Derek running around up here.
Suck it.
Might drive him to him. If there's a couple of Squatch right here, he probably ain't going to see a deer or elk anyway.
Something's regular in here. Pretty regular.
I'm going to grab a different camera. I'm going to start glassing. You can use that one. I got use the 50. I'll use the 60.
Where's the power?
It's back behind. It's right next to this. I think the little windsock.
Oh, I got it.
The windsock hides it. I think what I need to do is just that's not that far. I just need to spot with my eyes, and then if I see something unusual, zoom in on it. That's a nice cold wind.
That is. We got some darkness coming.
Okay, what I want to do is I want to go down the road to our right a ways, flip back so we can film this with the car camera from the backside of where it ran.
This mountain.
And then we can show them where we just pulled out of, where the guy ran out of his camp.
Sounds good, but again, I want to get off this mountain.
Yeah, we don't want
to. At least I want to get off this damn road. I'll tell you that.
We don't want to get stuck in this. It's a gnarly drive when it's good conditions.
In a proper 4-wheel drive.
Well, this is 4-wheel.
It works.
It only has 2 inches less clearance than my stock Jeep had.
Still 2 inches?
Yeah, it makes a big difference, doesn't it?
It does.
And also with the placement of the wheels. The Jeeps have the wheels placed a little bit better than this. Or much better. I probably only have it's probably a 3-inch difference between my Jeep and this now that I put that tow kit on. That tow kit hangs down about an inch further. I notice I usually hit on my hitch when I hit anything.
Somewhere else.
Yep.
A good old skid plate. Guess I shouldn't have to tell you people why they call this Beaver Mountain.
A lot of beaver. I get a lot of Bigfoot sighting reports around beaver ponds and stuff. Some of my favorite sightings reports. Some of the most aggressive ones, like Clint Richens and his buddy they were rifle hunting on Haynes Ranch right on the border of Thousand Peaks. They come up this little hill by a beaver pond, and there's a Bigfoot standing there face to face. The wind was blowing in their face, so they think that it couldn't smell or hear them. Perfect situation coming up over. He said it looked just as surprised to see them as how they felt at seeing it. It chomped its teeth at them, growled, ran into the tree line, and then sat in the tree line out of sight, growling at them, or roaring. Clint was maintenance at Lagoon in Farmington, Utah, and they have a jaguar display. And because he worked there, he heard that thing roar many times, and he says it roared a lot like a jaguar, except for a lot more deep and guttural. And that all took place right next to a beaver pond. They say that beaver ponds and stuff create habitat that animals like.
Absolutely. No question about that.
Wow.
And this is prime beaver. They're loving it.
Jenny and I spent a lot of time 2 years in a row camping out here and spending a lot of time here. And Derek and I's little hike that we just did, Derek and I found like 10, 20 times more on that one hike, Bigfoot evidence, than Jenny and I found during those 2 years. Definitely some Bigfoot in the area right now. And that video proves it. Those footprints prove it to me with the video. This is crazy. Gosh, it's supposed to snow tonight too.
Yep, it sure is.
With
We'd have waited at any time. I mean, seriously, by the time we could get back up here, this is probably going to be buried.
When Derek and I showed up here, it started raining, snowing, and hailing at the same time. And we were about ready to give up and leave. We didn't want to hike in that intense stuff, especially ruin our cameras, you know what I mean?
Yep.
And so we were about ready to give up, and then it suddenly stopped. And so we were able to get about some 2 hours worth of searching around in today. And going back through the scene next to the creek where I got the cast. Yeah, this is where the guy got ran out of camp, him and his dogs. And I'll put the sighting report video. I filmed a lot of it right here because this is where it happened.
I bet you this guy, he turned around, he turned his truck around right here. Just throwing that out there.
Oh, the guy with the white truck?
Yeah, you could tell the fresh tracks for the truck.
Yep, he was camping right here, and he was playing with his dogs. I think he was throwing the frisbee for him, and he was cooking some steaks. And the Bigfoot were coming down off the mountain around him. I don't know which side exactly, but he was here, and he could see him moving through the trees. And he said they started up high, making wood knocks, vocalizing, and then they started coming down pretty aggressively towards his camp. And this is just a little bit after dark. If you guys watch me casting the footprints, it was dark like that. The sun had gone down and all of that. And once he saw the figures moving through the trees, he grabbed his dogs. And his dogs, he says, were already scared shitless. And then when he got them inside the Bronco, they laid down on the floor and just whimpered. Well, he was watching them, and then he put his keys in and left and come back and picked up his camp the next day. Wow. And Derek and I found at least 2 individuals in this area. I might cut that out and make them go watch that video. A lot of people might not watch it because I just gave them a once over.
It's all good, dude. Whether they watch it here or whether they watch it on the other video, at the end of the day, they're watching. It's time spent watching it. No matter where they watched it. I'd leave it in both.
I'm just combing that hillside over there. I'm getting to be able to see up above the trees.
I like this camp spot. You got shit coming from every direction from you. This is not the spot that you want to actually... This'll... Good for weather, but for defensive capabilities, you're fucked. You're better off up on one of these hills, for sure.
There's a place about a mile from here that Jenny and I love to camp at, but if you want to camp where all the action has happened, it's right here.
Right here. I'm doing it. I've debated actually buying just one of those tent trailers that goes on the back of my truck, so I don't have to pull a trailer around.
Yeah, that way you have all the clearance of your truck and the elevation
of being up on top of it.
And your camp goes with you every time. You don't have to return to camp because your camp's with you.
Absolutely. You could just pull over and camp, and if you actually rigged up a good enough solar or something on your vehicle with some batteries and stuff, who knows, man. You might be able to get away with... Dude, I've seen some... Do they actually have a different... Have you seen the implants for sleep apnea?
There's an implant?
There's an implant now that they actually implants down in your chest, but it actually goes up and attaches electrodes to the little muscle that closes, and gives a little juice. When you turn it on, you go to sleep, gives it juice, so it tightens it up, so it doesn't allow it to flap down, and it holds that passageway open.
They also have a surgery where they can go in and remove some of your upper palate, your uvula, and some of your nasal cavity to clean all that up to eliminate sleep apnea. I'm sure it's not the right kind of surgery for some people, though. James had that done, and it cleared up his sleep apnea.
It could be up too, though.
It's a very painful surgery, and he was hurting for a couple of months after that one, but I'm sure he thinks it's worth it now. He doesn't need a sleep apnea machine.
I don't know. I think for the rest of my life I'll just be nervous without one. Because I've felt it. You know what I mean? You know.
I don't. Jenny and I were going to camp out at Vernal, and we got almost to Vernal, and I realized I left my machine home, and I flipped around, and Jenny was just shocked. I was going back home, and I'm like, I can't. Now that I've had one, I just can't live without it. I'm not going to torture myself. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I absolutely.
You
don't need to tell me. I think that was a successful rain-dawn trip.
The Squatch gods must have been looking down on us because we were about ready to give up. It was raining, snowing, and hailing so bad. And just about the point that we were like, okay, let's go home, it stopped.
We were in the car.
Yeah.
And it stopped.
That was just one random thunder cell that dumped on us for a minute. Oh yeah, I don't want to be on this.
Oh,
in
hell
the mud.
No.
This car can barely do it when it's dry.
No, we want to be off this mountain, off this road at least.
I want them to come in and maintain and fix this. Part of me wants them to do that, and the other part is like, leave it like this so less people
utilize it.
Yeah, it definitely reduces the traffic flow. This is the part that really sucks, especially coming the other direction. There's parts where I know that one wheel comes off the ground through here too.
I'd be hugging.
Yeah, I know exactly the route that I need to take.
Yeah, cut it.
Yeah, I've done this several times. Oh, I went a little bit too high.
That's alright.
And then I come down in between these rocks. See, you can feel it teetering a little bit on. I think I kept all four on the ground this time.
That's some big granite right there, man. That's like rocks like in my backyard. Dude, it just blows me away every time I just sit back and look at just the sheer amount of rock in my yard, dude.
I love your yard.
Like, holy
your yard's really relaxing, man.
Yeah, I love my yard, dude.
Well, you got...
that's why I live there, is because of that yard, man.
Derek's on the North Ogden Divide Mountain. It's his backyard. I always tell him he's got squatches in the backyard because
in the back.
That pass up above his house, there's been several Bigfoot sightings where it's crossed the road there. And then there's also
Bonneville shoreline.
And then there was just up above his house, 4 people playing a soft gun game, 3 teenagers and an adult. They all witnessed a Bigfoot up there watching them play their game.
Did I tell you I sat there and listened to some audio?
What were you parabolic?
Right on my freaking. I didn't have the parabolic. I could hear
just outside.
Yeah, I was about 3:30, 3:45 in the morning, just getting ready to head out to work, and freaking sat there and just listened to it for a good 5-10 minutes or something. You can hear chatter.
On the mountain above your house?
Yep. Actually, it came from over there by the
Coldwater Canyon?
Yeah, Coldwater Canyons, where it sounded like it was coming out of.
Okay, I was...
That tells you that was some pretty loud, sounds, I mean.
When I was driving to pick you up this morning, I was looking at Coldwater Canyon, and it looks like it's like a half a mile from where your house is.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
It's
not. It's It's about that, maybe.
If you can straight shot it, if you can fly like a bird.
Absolutely. It's really not
very
that far. It's not that far. I'm there in a couple minutes.
Well, it goes Coldwater, then it goes North Ogden Divide, whatever creek comes down or river comes down off of that.
Great timing for everything.
Yeah, I wanted to get up here before that storm hit to see if we could find any more footprints before the storm would wash them away. And between Derek and I, we found well over a dozen more tracks.
Suspect tracks, absolutely.
Some of them were definitive to me.
Yeah, they were.
And then they were in line with the suspect, which helps turn those definitive.
The whole jumping over the creek thing, dude, that's what did it for me. Distinctly something jumped from one side of that shore to the other. And it looked like a bipedal foot to me.
It had a giant human-like heel with no boot tread in it.
Yeah.
And that type of soil,
probably
a boot track
camp right there.
A boot track would have showed up like a sore thumb, and there was no boot track in that at all.
No treads in there. But again, I still think I like that camp too.
I still think Bigfoot chucked this boulder into the road.
That's right.
Stay out. Damn. Dude, that's the most action that I have ever recalled as far as footprints since Epic Bigfoot Expedition, dude.
Big brown shit running. You know what I mean?
In like a half a mile square area, we found well over a dozen, probably close to 2 dozen, where it looked Bigfoot to me. And then we kept consistently measuring tracks between 15 and 17 inch, making it look like there's 2 different individuals. And that totally fits what we have found our entire Bigfooting career.
Everything we've looked at.
Our career. My stereotype going into this was Bigfoot was a lone rogue creature, and we have discovered there's usually 2, sometimes more. If you can spend the time after you find some tracks, you'll eventually find another individual in the area. And back in there, Derek was seeing where they were walking side by side using the same trail.
Absolutely, side by side.
And then the dude right there in the same area that had the Bigfoot come down and scare him out of camp, he saw 2 different ones at the same time coming down that draw. His dogs wanted nothing to do with them. And, you know, dogs are pretty fearless, even little ankle biter ones. So when something scares a dog, it definitely has some intimidation factor.
Just depends on the dog.
Damn near every dog I've ever owned, they'll go run up and bark at anything. And a lot of times they're putting their life in danger up on a raunchy moose or...
I actually saw a little teeny tiny dog saw a video of a little teeny tiny dog chasing off a grizzly bear out of the backyard.
Put that down for you?
Yeah, I don't want it.
I know we already got a camera rolling. I'll put it just in an easy place to snatch.
But yeah, it was just a little teeny tiny dog.
Oh my gosh, the temperature's dropping. You can feel that storm coming in.
Oh, absolutely.
What kind of dog was it?
Yeah, you know, like a little Lhasa or something like that. Just a little yappy little sucker, little ankle biter.
I saw that video of that dog in Africa, that little medium-sized dog running up and harassing a male lion. He was lucky that lion didn't want anything to do with him. I'm like, that dog's like trying to commit suicide.
We're starting to get hell. You see that?
Yeah, you picked a good time to get out of there, dude. They could just downpour at any time.
Oh, absolutely.
And that one bad section I went through, that would just be hell in the thick mud to try and get through.
Yeah, we're not too far from the entrance at this now.
I wouldn't mind getting stuck back here with the Squatches if it was better weather.
Oh no.
But
we're a little bit more prepared to be spending the night here, but there's enough in here we could spend the night. We got pizza.
Well, I do keep survival stuff in my vehicle in case I get stuck somewhere.
We're good, man.
Yeah, the point is not to get stuck somewhere.
Absolutely.
We stayed the night somewhere. We want it to be planned. I had no intentions of staying the night here tonight, even though there's Bigfoot sighting on video, all that, because I know it's going to snow, and that could potentially get my vehicle buried in the mud back here.
Till spring.
Yeah.
Easily.
If I got a hold of Derek this morning and I'm like, let's try and beat that storm.
Yeah, I'm glad I came, man. No, absolutely. I'm glad you called.
This has been the biggest finding tracks since Epic.
Oh, I'll tell you right now, Jen's going to kick herself in the butt. She's going to want to have been, I think, anyway.
Well, she's been back here
plenty of times.
Back here a couple. Well, she's the one that
found the track.
No, she's the one that got me to pull over. She saw tracks next to the creek, and we were watching for tracks. And she's like, "I see some tracks. Pull over." So I pulled over, and she heads towards the tracks she saw. And I thought, well, no need for us to both go over there. I'll check over there. So we went opposite directions up the creek, and pretty soon she hollers over to me and she goes, "These are moose." And a couple of seconds after she told me those were moose, I stumbled upon that really nice deep Bigfoot track, and I'm like, well, there's Bigfoot over here. So, but it's only a couple of miles where a Bigfoot was filmed. And after doing the comparison, I loved that video.
Yeah, honestly, that was a very well done. I love that comparison video, man.
And, you know, I kudos to the witness and his friend and son.
Coming back and doing it.
That come back and walkie-talkied him to the spot. And because Jen and I showing up, we wouldn't have known exactly where they were sitting when they filmed that. So that would have been hard for us to line up. Derek and I did the Provo Bigfoot. We did the lineup with that.
We did pretty good. We figured out where the hell they were.
For the creature being close to a mile away up on that mountain, we got it really close. It is the further it is, the more difficult it is, and then you have so many variables. The type of camera they used, how far they were zoomed in, the resolution. It is difficult, people. I know a lot of people that sit on their couches and like, you should have did this, you should have done that, you know. It's difficult, and I think Derek and I did a great job, and these guys did too.
Yeah.
What they did was less than half the distance what we had to do.
And hill wasn't anywhere near as dangerous to get up to.
And they had that snowmobile marker over there to go off of. They did a great job. I think we got a good lineup on it. Here's tonight's storm. It's already here.
It is here. Until it's dumping all through.
All right, there's Beaver Mountain Peak right there in front of us. We're getting close to pavement, so I'm going to end this roundtable drive. If we find anything of interest, we'll put it at the end of this video.
They know Beaver Mountain. Beaver Mountain's a ski resort, by the way, people. If you didn't know, it's right in front of us. Throwing that out there. Keep on watching.
We'll keep on squatching. Whoop, whoop.